My friend, I want to speak with you today about one of the most destructive beliefs that keeps humanity bound in chains of limitation. It is a belief so deeply rooted in our thinking that most people never question it. Yet this single false idea stands between you and the abundant life you were meant to live. I speak of the myth of scarcity, the belief that there is not enough to go around, the notion that if one person gets rich, another must become poor, the fear that the supply of good things in this universe is somehow limited, and that we must compete and fight for our share. This belief is not only false, it is the very opposite of truth. Let me tell you something that will transform your entire relationship with wealth and abundance. The substance from which all things are made is limitless. There is no shortage in the universe. There never has been and there never will be. You see, most people look at wealth as if it were a pie. They imagine that the pie has only so many slices, and if someone takes a big piece, there is less for everyone else. But this view comes from looking only at what already exists. It comes from the competitive mind that sees only the material world. But wealth is not a pie that gets smaller when divided. Wealth is more like a fountain that flows endlessly from an inexhaustible source. The more we draw from it, the more it flows. The more people who drink from it, the stronger the flow becomes. This truth becomes clear when you understand the nature of the original substance from which all things come. This substance is not dead matter. It is thinking substance. It is alive, intelligent, and creative, and it is everywhere, in everything, and infinite in its supply. Think about this for a moment. Every building you see was once just a thought in someone's mind. Every invention, every work of art, every business enterprise began as an idea. Where did these ideas come from? They came from the same inexhaustible source that has been providing ideas to humanity since the beginning of time. Has this source ever run out of ideas? Has there ever been a shortage of inspiration, of creativity, of new possibilities? Never. And there never will be, because the source itself is infinite. Now, when someone takes an idea from this infinite supply and turns it into something tangible, do they deprive you of that idea? Of course not. The idea remains available to anyone else who can tune in to receive it. But more than that, when they create something new, they actually add to the total wealth of the world. Consider the man who invents a new machine that makes work easier. Does he make the world poorer by his creation? Quite the opposite. He enriches everyone who uses his invention. He has taken formless substance and shaped it into something that serves humanity. The world is richer because of his creation, not poorer. This is the great secret that those who understand true wealth have always known. We are not here to compete for a limited supply. We are here to create from an unlimited supply. We are not here to take from others. We are here to give increase to all. But how deeply the competitive idea has poisoned our thinking. We have been taught from childhood that life is a struggle, that we must fight for what we want, that success means beating someone else. We see others getting ahead and we feel threatened. We worry that their success somehow limits our own possibilities. This way of thinking keeps us locked in poverty, even when we have money in the bank. For poverty is not just about the amount in your account. Poverty is a state of mind that believes in limitation. And as long as you believe in limitation, you will experience it, no matter how much you have. Let me share with you a story that illustrates this truth. There were once two merchants in the same town, selling similar goods. One lived in constant fear that his competitor would steal his customers. He spent his time worrying about what the other man was doing, trying to undercut his prices, speaking poorly of his competitor's products. The other merchant had a different understanding. He believed that there were plenty of customers for both of them. Instead of focusing on competition, he focused on creation. He thought about how he could serve his customers better, how he could improve his products, how he could add more value to every transaction. What happened? The first merchant focused on limitation and competition found his business declining. His fearful, grasping energy repelled customers. The second merchant focused on creation and increase saw his business flourish. But here is the remarkable part. The entire market grew. His success did not come at his competitors' expense. Instead, his creative energy lifted the entire community. This is always what happens when someone operates from the creative plane rather than the competitive plane. They do not take from the existing supply. They increase the supply for everyone. You see, when you truly understand that the supply is unlimited, your whole approach to life changes. Instead of asking, "How can I get what I want?" you begin asking, "What can I create?" Instead of looking at what others have with envy, you look at what others have accomplished with inspiration, knowing that their success proves what is possible for you too. Instead of hoarding what you have in fear of losing it, you give freely, knowing that giving opens the channels for more to flow to you. Instead of seeing other successful people as threats, you see them as allies and examples of what the infinite supply can do through a human life. But I must warn you about something. The old competitive thinking runs deep. You will find it trying to reassert itself in your mind again and again. You will read news of economic troubles and feel the old fear creeping in. You will see others succeeding and feel the old envy rising up. You will face a challenge and slip back into the old belief that you must fight and struggle. When this happens, and it will happen, you must consciously redirect your thinking. You must remind yourself of the truth. There is no lack in the universe. There is only an infinite supply of substance waiting to be formed by your thoughts into whatever you need. Practice seeing abundance everywhere. When you see a successful business, instead of thinking they are taking customers from others, think they are demonstrating what the creative power can do. When you hear of someone getting wealthy, instead of feeling envious, feel grateful that the infinite supply is proving itself once again. Train yourself to think thoughts of increase rather than decrease. When you enter into any transaction, any relationship, any endeavor, hold firmly to the idea that you are there to give increase, not to take advantage. See yourself as a channel through which the infinite abundance flows out to bless the world. And here is something wonderful that will happen as you make this shift. You will begin to attract opportunities that those locked in competitive thinking never see. You will find people eager to work with you, to buy from you, to help you succeed, because they will sense that associating with you brings increase to their own lives. The universe itself will conspire to bring you what you need, because you will be in harmony with its fundamental nature, which is creative, not competitive. You will be working with the law of abundance instead of against it. My friend, I want you to know that this is not merely theory. This is the most practical truth you could ever learn. Every person who has ever created lasting wealth has done so by understanding, either consciously or unconsciously, that they were creating from an unlimited supply, not competing for a limited one. They succeeded not by taking from others, but by giving increase to others. They became wealthy, not by making others poor, but by making others richer through their products, services, and ideas. This is the only way to create wealth that satisfies the soul. Wealth gained through competition, through taking advantage of others, through hoarding and grasping, may fill your bank account, but it will leave you empty inside. True wealth comes from understanding your place as a creative force in an abundant universe. So I challenge you today to examine your own thinking. Where are you still trapped in the myth of scarcity? Where are you still thinking competitively instead of creatively? Where are you still believing that someone else's success somehow limits your own? Begin today to align your thoughts with truth. The universe is abundant. The supply is unlimited. There is more than enough for everyone, including you. Your job is not to compete for what exists, but to create what has never existed before. Hold this truth firmly in your mind. Feel gratitude for the inexhaustible abundance that surrounds you, and then go forth and create, knowing that in doing so, you not only enrich your own life, but you add to the wealth of the entire world. The myth of scarcity has held humanity in poverty long enough. It is time for you to claim your birthright as a creative being in an abundant universe. The supply is waiting. The only question is, what will you create?